I am really, really upset about this book, and I am filming with my robe on because I need the comfort, okay? Don't judge me. Hello, beautiful bookworms. My name is Katarina, and welcome to my channel. And before I start crying, let's just get into this video because this one is going to be really, really hard. And believe me, this is for self-protection. And I'm not really kidding because I need to feel cuddly. I need to feel fine. I'm doing this in my pajamas because I have no psychological strength to review this manga without this help, because boy was this hard. It was really, really hard to read this. So as probably all of you guys know, because I know that I have a lot of subscribers that come from this video, and I want to say a thank you to all of you. Don't go away, I love you. Okay, I have done a video on pretty much all of Junji Ito's works. And Junji Ito, if you don't know, he's a very, very known throughout the world horror mangaka. So he has this short story horror manga series. He has these sort of really big bricks of manga that are cohesive stories. It has short stories in this big collection, and he is a horror manga author. So in January, I believe, sort of January, beginning of February, I don't know, I found out that a new manga from Junji Ito had come out. That manga is this manga, No Longer a Human. So I decided that if I have read pretty much all of his works already, the one that I haven't read is that one about his cat, that he feels like he's a demon because he doesn't like cats, I believe. I haven't read that one, but that one didn't sound pertinent to what I wanted to do, which was reviewing horror mangas. So I decided, well, why am I not going to read? Okay, you're just going to fall, just fall already, Jesus. Okay, so I just thought to myself, why not read the new one and do just a review focus on that one, and then link up above the other video that I have, so if people come here because of Junji Ito, they will have that video to watch and this video to watch as well, so that's more dynamic and that's more fun. And so I got the manga, and it's here. And the first thing that I noticed is that the story of this manga is not created by Junji Ito, which is not normally how he works, because he creates and he draws his own stories. And in this particular manga bind-up of short stories, which I believe is called Shiver, he has also the process for how he thinks about these stories and in which works he bases stories off, and how he does it and why he does it those ways. And that's very interesting to actually read. So if you want to know how his process is, I do recommend that you read the short stories of Shiver. But I picked this up and it said right here, original novel by Osamu Dazai. And I was like, oh, so this was a novel. Written one, like a normal one. Okay. But why did it decide to adapt this? So I started just like looking around. By the way, the back of this book is beautiful. And I just opened this, and it has Junji Ito's biography, of course, and then it has Osamu Dazai's biography. And it says, Osamu Dazai was born in Aomori, northern Japan in 1909. Okay. The son of a wealthy land-owning family. During his boyhood and youth, he wrestled with his own complicated mental state and eventually dropped out of Tokyo Imperial University's French literature department. He went on to pen a number of important works, including Run, Mellows, Return to Tsugaru, and The Setting Sun, becoming one of the leading voices in the contemporary literature, even while he struggled with drug addiction and attempted suicide on multiple occasions. In June 1948, 1 month after completing No Longer Human, which is this story, considered by some to have been his own suicide note, he drowned himself with his lover, Tomi Yamazaki, in the Tamagawa Canal in Mitaka, Tokyo. He was 38. And I read this shit and I thought, oh boy, this is going to be very, very hard to read. Needless to say, I was very, very right. So, this work right here is considered to be somewhat autobiographical, and it's counted as the best work by Osamu Dazai. And Junji Ito picked this shit up, and he ripped my soul into 1,000 pieces. And I cried reading this. I had to stop multiple times reading this, and I'm going to explain you why. And I felt like none of his works had affected me as much as this did, because the way that he visually evoked anxiety, panic, social fear, just no longer being human or feeling like one, was so close to my own experience that it was very, very hard to read. So in this case, although you can see that this is sort of a horror sort of manga as well for Junji Ito, because he uses a lot of body dysmorphia and a lot of gore and a lot of topics that are very difficult, and yeah, a lot of hauntings and situations, this is very real. This is very raw. Some of Junji Ito's previous works, you've heard me saying in that video, if you've watched it, that I found them funny because it was a sort of horror that it was very exaggerated, and then for some situations it was interesting because as a horror fan, which I am, it was actually funny to see some of the topics approached. In this case, I found nothing funny at all. I found this raw, I found this crude, and I found this a brilliant work of art and a brilliant exploration of human psyche, which half of the praise has to be done to Osamu Dazai, because the original work is by him. But the other half of the praise, the visual situation, the way that the words mixed with the images that you were seeing and the feelings that you were feeling, has to do with Junji Ito's brilliant work. And so for that reason, I think that both of them are amazing at what they do. And I am so very sorry that the author of this novel killed himself, because I do believe that he had a lot to give, and it's very sorry. I'm very sorry. It's really sad, and I'm gonna fucking cry again, Jesus. Okay, so for those of you that haven't read this and don't know this and are very scared by my reaction, let me just tell you what No Longer Human is about. So No Longer Human is the story of this dude, and he, since an early age, is plagued with social anxiety. Really plagued. It's not like there is different levels of anxiety. This is just cruel. This is just something that, as someone who has generalized anxiety disorder, which is my case, I am still functional. I have days where I sometimes cannot function straight as a normal person, but I can still function and do my life without medications, and with just breathing, and with just trying to not making things complicated for me. This person does not have that type of anxiety. This person has a serious condition that affects his whole life since he was a child. A lot of bad things happened that propelled that to happen. And I am so very sorry for this, because every time that you are reading this, even though that your main character is not Osamu Dazai, you think of him, because it's stated that this is supposed to be somewhat autobiographical. And so you're thinking, oh my god, did this happen to this person, or is it just taking creative liberties? You don't know. And you will never know, because he's not here to actually tell you that that happened to him, or that he's just creating a background for his character. And that's what hurts you the most. It's like, could he be helped? Could he not be helped? And it's terrifying. And it's basically a story where you see someone trying to overcome his social anxiety and trying to fit in by being sort of that person that always is made fun of because does stupid things to get some attention, but not specific attention, just attention in a way that will divert the real attention from the real thing. And he just clowns through his life. He just gets into everything, basically, that normal people wouldn't. He does drugs, he has problems of health and situations that are very terrible in professional and personal levels. And you just see him spiraling down out of control and just getting to the point of no return. This is what this book is the journey of someone that goes from a beginning that is not that great in terms of mental health to a terrible ending. And that's why it's terrifying, because everyone that reads this and has a mental health condition, and particularly people that have anxiety, and I'm going to cry because that's how I felt, will feel that if this happened to this person, then why would they get better? Like, how do people get better? You feel completely hopeless while reading this. There are some times when you have that glim of hope, and then it goes away. It completely goes away. Because it's just how people that are going through a mental health crisis feel. They feel hopeless, and that's why mental health is important, and that's why we should invest in that, and that's why we all should pay attention to ourselves and to our mental health. If you feel, and this is a message for any of you that might be feeling down, it's important to reach out, and it's important to ask for help before you get yourself so trapped in yourself that you can't get out. And I feel like that's maybe one of the messages that you can take from this book, which is a very important one. Now, after I've composed myself, this story is not easy. It has a lot of trigger warnings, which I do not want to tell you in here because I don't want to spoil some of the action scenes of this. And for that reason, if you are thinking about reading this and you really want to know them, just tell me something in the comments down below. I will personally make a list for you of all of the things that I can remember that are there as triggers. But myself, I had to pace myself while reading this. So I couldn't read a lot of chapters. I had to read in a place that I felt safe, and I had to read slowly, gently, and when I couldn't take it anymore, I had to stop and read other things. So it was like a journey to me, and I think that that's how it is intended to be, because the manga by itself, it's a very, very big manga, and it's a very slow one as well. Since you are talking about the journey of a character, you only follow the character, and you only see things through her perspective. His perspective in this case, because it's a man. But I was talking about character, so yeah. But since you only have one point of view, and since you only have one person narrating the story, it's a very slow mental health sort of journey that you do with that person. And so it can be costing to you, but if you take it very, very slow, I think you will be fine. It is very interesting. It has scary art, as it's Junji Ito's sort of thing. It has a lot of disfigurating of people to have them as ghosts or as hauntings or such, or has your own thoughts and feelings, and it has a lot of the trademarks of Junji Ito's. I personally feel like in each manga that he does, his art gets better, and even in these specific sort of mangas where you have a point and a message that you want to send across, I do believe that he does that perfectly, and even better than when he's just telling a short story just because it's funny and scary and spooky. So this is not a funny, scary, gory sort of novel. This is a serious manga work. This is a work to be taken seriously. This is a heavy work of literature, and it's one of the best mangas that I've ever read. So take that what it will. It has the fear factor way more for people that have real mental health issues than for others, but it's still there. It has beautiful, disturbing art. It has an amazing storyline. But in opposition to other Junji Ito novels, it is very, very slow. So for that reason, you have to take that into consideration when you get into No Longer Human, because it's not something that is going to rapidly develop into something really, mind-blowing. It's just something that takes you for a ride slowly. I don't know how to describe this. So, in short conclusion, if what you want is really this fast-paced, terrifying, silly, and thought-provoking sort of horror thing, I wouldn't tell you to pick this up. I would refer you to one of the mangas in the video that I made previously of Junji Ito's works. If you want something that is hard-hitting, that is going to cost you, that is going to make you feel something, that is going to scare you and probably make you think about your views and mental health and everyone's problems, then you should give this a shot. Slowly, I might add. And please know that this is going to be recommended by me every single time that you ask for something like this. Is going to be this, because I have no shame in saying that this is one of the best manga works that I've ever read. Will I read it again? Yes, but not right now. I can't, I really can't. It's just, this might sound really stupid to all of you, but I really, it hit me in a way that not a lot of stories hit you. And I just want to share a little thing with you to finalize, is that there's a collage in the end of the book, which I do not recommend you go see before you read the rest of the manga, because it will spoil you the final plot point of the manga. But there is a collage that I do believe it's a direct collage from the newspaper that was released when they found Osamu Dazai. And apparently they found a note by him that said, "I can no longer write." And I started crying when I read that, like crying. And I thought, this brilliant person took his own life due to his mental health condition when he was amazing and he had so much to give. So please do not do that. Please search for help, because we can fix everything except that. I believe that, and I need to believe that for my own sake. So think about this and my reaction, what you want, and maybe you will feel like it was a total waste of time to come and see this review. But I believe that doing a book review is not only telling you, oh my god, it was amazing, or oh my god, it was shit, or okay, so this is the synopsis of the book, have fun and read it. It is actually tell you how it might impact you and how it impact me. Because if your likings and some of your things are similar to mine, you have to know that you have a masterpiece here that you have to read. If you don't agree with anything that I said, that's also okay. Maybe you hate this book. Maybe it made you feel like mental health is not like this. And I respect that a lot. And if you do feel that, I would love for you to comment down below, because I really want to discuss this with someone. And I feel like if I talked about it, it will also be better than just keeping for myself. But if you have not tried this, I advise you to, and it can also be sort of considered as nonfiction if you're searching for nonfiction, because it's supposed to be similarly autobiographical of Osamu Dazai's work. So you can take it as an autobiography, or and literally that everything that is here happened to that person, and be sad about that, or do not care about that. Or you can take it as a piece of art. You can take it as a metaphorical connection and a cry for help. You can take it however you want. My advice is just take it. Take it with you and read it. And if this is your first introduction to Junji Ito, you have a lot to learn about his art, yes, but you started in a hard, magical, beautiful, and sad place. That's all that I'm going to tell you. I do not recommend this for starting for Junji Ito, but if this interests you in any way, it is indeed less strange and terrifying than some of his other works. So this is not a horror novel. This is an approach to mental health and sadness and panic. So maybe it is a horror novel. Who knows? Okay, so after I went and drank some water and cried a little, this is how I'm going to finish this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I don't know if you've read anything by Junji Ito, but I know that some of the people that follow me really, really enjoy him. And so please pick this book up. This manga is amazing. It's one of my favorites by him. And I will always say that, even though the supposed original story is not by him, that he created it as much as the original writer. So do them both a favor and go and read this. It's an amazing visual experience. It's sad, but it's also very, very true. And a lot of people in our society feel like this. And maybe it's sort of our duty to understand this perspective and to be able to detect this and try and help someone in this situation. So that's all that I wanted to say. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I didn't say anything else about the plot because I really didn't want to spoil you. I feel like this is a journey that you only take not knowing once, and that once is the one time that it's going to bitch slap you in the face so hard that you're going to love it. So I really didn't want to ruin that experience. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you have anything to say about Junji Ito or his works, you can comment here or in my other video. Just tell me which of them is your favorite if you want. And that's going to be all for today. So happy readings to you all. Bye!